What's up, everybody? This is Josh coming to you with another episode of the Affiliate Marketing Show. Please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest affiliate marketing news, tips, and trends. I am Josh from OfferVault.com, the industry's largest aggregator of all things affiliate marketing. A big shout out goes out to our sponsor today, Max Bounty, once again. And today's Chat GPT read will be done in the voice of a UFC announcer doing pre-fight introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans from around the globe, are you ready for the main event of the evening? Brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Max Bounty, currently celebrating their 20th anniversary as the undisputed champions of the CPA network world. Fighting in the red corner, weighing in at a staggering 20 years of excellence, Max Bounty stands tall as the first network to be ranked #1 by both OfferVault and MThink in the year 2024. They've dominated the competition like a seasoned fighter in the octagon, proving time and again while they're the ultimate choice for affiliates worldwide. But wait, fight fans, that's not all. Max Bounty doesn't just settle the title, they dominate the top verticals with the precision of a knockout punch. From financial to insurance, market research to e-commerce, they cover it all, leaving their competition in the dust. And let's not forget about those owned and operated campaigns, folks. They continue to pack a punch with millions paid out to affiliates, turning every partnership into a winning combination. So fight fans, when it comes to choosing a champion in the world of affiliate marketing, there's only one name you need to remember: Max Bounty. Step into the ring with the best and watch your profits soar to new heights. We also have Daddy Callbucks, Adam Young, hashtag it's a call track life, as well as the industry legend Harrison Gevirtz, plus our special guest today, Rick Bennink, founder of Brand Ventures Inc., a company known as one of the market leaders when it comes to developing disruptive direct-to-consumer products. He's also the founder of OneTac.com as well as PetJoy.com. What is up, Rick?
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Good to see everybody, and good morning.
The look on Rick's face says it all. I am so sorry, my friend, that you had to sit through that shit. He never tells us what he's gonna do.
Do you have a premium Chat GPT membership, Josh?
If you do the skits,
charge
you don't
back.
like. I do the skits, you don't like it. I don't do the skits, you don't like it. So, you know, I'm kind of screwed either way. But
Did
I'll
you
keep
even
doing
bother
them.
wearing Max Bounty's swag today? Like, are we just giving up on?
No, I decided they're not paying me enough either.
We're on a strike.
Wow, Matt McAvoy, we're gonna need a bigger check.
This is what happens when you make us beg for the Instagram follows. Fuck.
No,
By
speaking
the
of
way,
Max,
I sent Matt so much shit just to see if I could swag, just to see if I could get him like stuck in a customs duty situation. Like we sent him
a pallet
Ringba
of hoodies on the way.
backpacks and hoodies and books and like the whole thing.
speaking of Max Bounty, I also want to mention anyone who is using Max Bounty, they did just drop a mobile app. Make sure you check it out, available in the Apple and Google Play Store. I've heard great things about it so far. So Rick, a lot of questions for you today. And the first one is just something I selfishly want to know. I was looking at your LinkedIn profile and saw that one of your first startup ventures was a independent yellow page company. And I'm curious, tell us a little bit about that and, kind of how, quickly how you ended up where you are today and what lessons you maybe took away from that first yellow page company that you are able to apply in this affiliate industry.
Sure. No, I appreciate that. I started in media when I was 18. My parents were both in media, so I kind of grew up in the local market in Oregon, Eugene specifically. I was at the time selling radio. I was approached by a couple of guys that came to market, saw what I was able to do with the type of clients I had held, and they offered me a part of the company to come in and grow that from the ground up. So really, it's looking at where you've got the market leader, one specific brand. There's an opportunity to disrupt, offer something different, more unique features. But it was a grind. It was probably, I was young, obviously in my mid-20s. But it's getting up every day, knocking on every single door, creating new avenues and ideas to, present to help market people's brands. So I think we got into our third year, building that from zero to about $1 million in the first 2 years, creating a really disruptive approach in the market to offer a secondary approach. We were fortunate enough to sell that company. And at that point, that's when I made my journey down to Southern California. Virtually, I saw the online market in the late 90s and was very intrigued what I could do in that, and moved to Southern California. And that's when I jumped into the internet business in 98. So been in the market just over about 25 years now.
So it sounds like you and Adam got something in common. You guys both went door to door hustling in your early days.
It's a grind, but it really taught a lot of lessons of, you get beaten down, you got to stand back up, you got to knock on every single door and look at it as an opportunity. Just like with affiliate marketing, there's a lot of challenges that we all go into, and some good, some bad, but we got to just get up, keep pushing, and keep creating.
Speaking of affiliate marketing, back in the day when you and I met, you were running all kinds of traffic and doing different things. But what I observed is that you moved into being more of an advertiser and owning your own brands. Can you talk about what that progression looked like and like what caused it?
Sure. It was really looking at the years I've spent, incubating and launching different businesses myself. My first agency was in 2001, kind of at the dot crash moment. And as I've started seeing over the years of my career and different companies that I was starting, things changed so rapidly in what we were doing. I really wanted to start building a foundation of the right team, the right systems, the right platform, so that I can move within the market and change as times do change. So by having that foundation, we launched Brand Ventures in like 15 years ago. There was an opportunity within the subprime market, learned that monetization path, generating leads for finance. And as buyers would either have budgets or go away, revenues were spiking or declining, I wanted to make sure that we had the ability to launch in different categories. So there's seasonal cyclical cycles with a lot of industries, and you can't just sit back on the success you have for 6 months of the year or 9 months of the year. We had to keep evolving and creating different verticals, brands, and ultimately moving that experience, had the team, and started building the software to start owning the entire consumer experience. That's when we started going down the path of manufacturing, marketing, design, shipping, and launching our first e-commerce brands in 2014, so almost 10 years ago.
That's awesome. And I watched you actually launch One Tack and then PetJoy, and these are very different markets. So I'm really curious, was this a passion decision or did you just see the opportunities?
So really, how we jumped into direct to consumer to start with, where we were large lead generate affiliates, right, in the finance, debt, auto insurance, where we were seeing difficulties when we were getting really exposed from accounts receivable. $500,000, $1 million to a brand or another network, where they would slow pay. All of a sudden, they had a problem with one affiliate tracking link or a small subset of the invoice, and all of a sudden, they're holding $500,000 of our money. And as a small entrepreneur business, a couple of guys trying to manage that really became difficult. So as we started spending more, say, in auto insurance, we would see what other categories, what other things were coming to market that were beating us on our, paying more for media. And that's when we started looking at the direct-to-consumer e-commerce. There was one brand that came out hard and heavy in the flashlight business. We were the second to market. We saw what they were doing. We felt we could build a better brand, a longer-term brand. Brand is still in market today. As we started building and having that success, we're the partners, Brian Murphy and myself and Thomas, they all have pets. We had dogs. Brian had lost a dog. I had one of my dogs hit by a car. We were having some challenges on the personal side with our pets and not being happy with what we saw. So as we started to move into other categories, we looked at, skincare. We launched, hair care, some of these different products. They weren't as easy to look to where do we take this thing? What, instead of 1 or 2 years, what does 10 years down the road look like? So That's when we started building our own software to be able to launch products within, duplicating our templates. But all the third-party softwares were dragging our site down. We had one brand we spent 6 months building, $500,000 in spend from cost, time, product, to realize that this market wasn't sustainable for us. We weren't able to acquire the customers at the right price, et cetera. We wanted to get into a product category that we were passionate about. We all love pets. We wanted a category that's large enough. If we invest a lot of time and money, what is that end goal for us? And pets are one of the top 3 categories in the country from packaged consumer goods. Layering in subscriptions, layering in technology, really had all the signs of a category that we could do some big things with and continually develop new products that really helped our pet owners.
I didn't quite realize what you just said there, how big the pet market was until I started spending some time around dogs. And I never had a pet growing up. I never was exposed to that. But for instance, my girlfriend has a dog, and I could never imagine not buying that dog the best food possible so that it can live the healthiest life. Like, it's a great pet. And I know Harrison spends a ton of money on his dogs. And
my dog's dental bills were more expensive than my fucking dental bills. And you know what?
Yep.
I paid it with a smile.
Well, thank you for being a good potential customer for PetJoy.
Yeah. And I think, I think to your point, the pet market is super cool. And if you don't have pets, you don't really understand it. But
they're really members of your family.
Yeah.
And you're going to take, if you have a newborn, you're going to do whatever you can to take care of your newborn. It's the same with pets. And so it's an incredible business to be in. But you're serving a need of customers that genuinely want to buy maybe toys, treats, or something to help with their health for their pets. So
Correct.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
Now,
it's right behind babies and weddings. This is one of the biggest categories that
I mean, I'd say they should be ahead of babies, but that's just me. I have not heard of Baby Joy, but PetJoy I'm with.
Now, are you running an affiliate program for the pet products?
Yes, we do.
Interesting. So walk me through that. I've never sold anything related to pets. I've done some e-commerce as an affiliate, but nothing in that category. Does it operate the same as lead gen or other e-commerce offers? Are there nuances to it? Like, what's it look like for an affiliate?
So for us, we have 2 models, if you will, from an acquisition strategy from our perspective. We have a straight sale, and then we've developed basically a free trial sample model, if you will. Our goals have been to get the reach and get our products into the hands of somebody, as many people as we can. So where we run a $6.95 trial, we show them a bunch of different upsell, downsells, try to capture as much money as we can in that initial, and we ship them a full 30-day guaranteed product. So from an affiliate perspective, to be able to have an offer like that, where from a human supplement or skincare, healthcare, I think we're really the only product out there that has this type of an approach where it's a free trial. It's hard to say no to a consumer, or a consumer's hard to say no from a consumer standpoint to say, oh, you're going to guarantee it and I just need to ship it to me. So from a conversion standpoint, the offer itself is incredible. We're specialists in creating content and storytelling, if you will. The uniqueness for this type of category and product is we're turning cold traffic into warm buyers based on problem solution. Does your dog scratch its ears? Does it lick? Does it scoot its butt? Whatever those problems are, selling that story up front and having that content for affiliates, both from VSLs to UGC content, TikTok, Facebook, all of those creative assets to be able to bring to an affiliate, I think, versus, hey, here's our landing pages, go figure it out, really gives us a leg up. We haven't gone and done a big push in the affiliate market for some time. And I'll get to the reason here in a little bit of our, what's our plan over the next 2 to 3 years. But having a seasoned group like us working with affiliates, we came from being an affiliate. We're now on both sides of it as an affiliate and a brand owner, and really understanding what affiliates need and what we can help make them successful will ultimately drive that success for us as well.
We were literally just talking to someone last week that consults on affiliate programs, and one of the biggest problems they faced was that the merchants didn't understand the affiliate audience or what type of assets or things an affiliate needs. So I think it's really cool that you come from the space, have been through the trenches, and then now working with affiliates. Obviously, this is great because you know what to watch out for, but also creation of the assets and things that an affiliate may need to be successful.
I was going to be a little more critical of the industry and say do better, because he's like, we've stayed away from affiliate. I'll tell you why. I'm like, we know why. Come on, guys, step it up.
Well, yeah, I haven't heard about a continuity offer in a long time. I mean, most of them have gone by the wayside for affiliates. So,
well, there's a lot of challenges, as we all know, and a lot of pitfalls we've gone through. You know, we got into subscription not knowing what we didn't know, and cost millions of dollars in issues that we've had to fix, and banking side of things, and routing of the appropriate banks, and funding, strategic financing, and getting caught into high expensive loans that hurt us. There's a lot of the things that we went down the path to make sure that we had something healthy, something that's sustainable, and knowing that we have our customers and our partners in the best light for the future.
Now, I'm just curious, do you offer 100% money back guarantee on all your products for the pets?
Yes, we do. And we have about an 85%, 75 to 85% stick rate on the subscription after that. So one of the things from a product standpoint that we really spent a lot of time was to make sure that we have a flavor guarantee, that the dogs will like our supplements and our soft chews. Versus tablets or powders or anything else. So we've enhanced flavors that allows us to ensure that if your dog doesn't eat it, or the customer didn't like it, or whatever it is, no problem. Keep the bottle. Thanks for being. Maybe you'll buy one of our other products down the road.
I think that type of guarantee is really important. And a lot of companies don't generally want to do something like that. But I'm of the mind that, like, if someone's not happy, they're not happy. And if you make a great product, it's going to be a really low percentage. I mean, even for the book I just wrote, The Paper Call Revolution, we're doing a VSL page where we give the book away for free. And I literally say in the VSL, if you're unhappy with the book, like if it doesn't provide value to your life, hit up our team. We'll give you a refund. You don't even need to ship it back. Just keep
How many refunds have we given?
0.
Exactly.
Yep,
yeah.
That's great.
I think it's, even if it's not for someone, just the fact that you're willing to give them that option, people feel better about it, and they don't even always take it up because they're like, this company was legit. They mean well. They're not just trying to grab,
Yeah, and the challenge in the affiliate space or product space, and what we've done for decades, is the consumers that are out there putting their cards, credit card down. That's the vote of confidence, is if they're going to put the credit card down. The people in market have had a lot of bad experiences. They've had challenges and issues, and if you treat the customer first and make sure that they're taken care of and they're comfortable with that, those customers will stay a long time.
Yeah, I mean, that's how Harrison and I approach all of our businesses, regardless of what it is. And we have various businesses in different segments, but we treat them all the same way. I mean, sure. Ringba has a no refund policy, but if someone really has a bad experience and wants their money back or whatever, we just give it to them. It's not, it never happens. Or if someone registers and changes their mind, we'll refund the monthly fee or whatever it is. No questions asked. Or, we've made refunds on OfferVault if a customer changes their mind or has an issue. And I think that the reality is, if you're building a long-term sustainable business, regardless of what it is or how it grows or whatever, you want happy customers. And if someone's not happy, the easiest fix is to just simply give them a refund. And the understanding in e-com that some people are going to do that to try and get free stuff. It's going to be a low percentage.
There are those offenders, though.
Yeah, it does
got to be baked into the numbers.
100%.
So Rick, I want to kind of shift towards, capital and strategic growth, but, I think there's an element of PetJoy that ties into that before we really dive in. So I know, you're kind of planning on trying to make an exit with PetJoy at some point, upwards of 9 figures within the next 2 to 3 years. So I'm curious, how does one go from launch to that? I know that's a super loaded question, but what's kind of your abbreviated Cliff Notes game plan on how to successfully make that happen?
Well, first, it's for anybody is finding something you're passionate about. We're pets. It's a great passion. Look at the marketplace like we did, and that's, can we bring in a customer that we can build a lifelong relationship with on multiple levels? Like in the beginning of the interview, we talked about dental work, pet insurance, beds, dogs, bowls, food. There's such a long list of categories that if you look at the category you get into and have the ability to continually sell them product, that's a huge win, because your LTV on that customer is going to be massive over the time. We're 4 years into this, so it's not an overnight, let's go to build this thing as an exit strategy out the gate. It was, can we build a sustainable brand with predictable revenue and great customer base with great products? And we organically grew, went from $500,000 to $1.5 million to $3.5 million, and continually growing that. We've gone through all of the headaches and issues that you could think of. 2 years ago, we did a little pre-market. Hey, what would it look like? What do we need to do from an acquisition standpoint? And got some great advice from some New York bankers. Did 20 calls, had 3 people come to the table and say, if you do A, B, and C, you're primed for an acquisition on a multiple of revenue, not EBITDA, but revenue in this category: pets, subscription, and technology. So the last year, we really kind of slowed things down and made sure that everything from the user experience, our technology, the product base, the customer retention, customer service, all of those elements were, we tested the model in rapid growth, saw the breaking points, regrouped. So I think that's something to keep in mind from any brand or anybody looking to try to set themselves up, is make sure you don't go too fast. There was times within that growth where, taking on capital that was very expensive, getting into merchant cash advances that probably weren't the best structure and strategy until we found inventory finance, or, different ways that we could help grow this business. But after COVID and credit cards and credit lines being started to limit it, we had to go out and find some things that probably hurt us as we went too fast, and had to regroup from that. So what we've done this past 6 months is we've set the company up for going after our first formal crowdfunding and Regulation D raise. So we decided, based on the growth trajectory of what we need to do to get to a big number, bankers, New York, lawyers, we need to go out and raise some capital for customer acquisition. The business is the healthiest it's ever been, but now it's putting fuel on the fire. So we just launched our first official crowdfunding through Title III funding, similar to a Kickstarter. Just starting to get that in market, which is exciting, where we can raise up to $10 million. Really, our first target is, anything from $500,000 to $1.5 million, really expedites the growth of our company. So we're able to take in friends and family that are non-credited from $100 on the way up. So we offer it to our customer base, and just starting to go to market with this. The ability to raise, the $2-3 million from a growth perspective can get us a multiple growth in the 10x over the 24 to 36 month period, just simply by the customer acquisition growth. The other aspect to that is, do we go and raise additional capital to roll up other companies under us? Part of the strategy and thought is, what if we can go and pull in some additional smaller pet brands that are maybe Amazon, that don't know the direct-to-consumer strategy and content, and rolling those under us. So we've got a targeted $50 million a year revenue plan based on our experience, our background, and that'll put us in the 2.5 to 3.5 time revenue exit target. So it's very exciting for us to finally come to market, decide to and formalize, selling a piece of the company for the first time after, decades of doing it ourselves. It's an exciting time for somebody to come in and help us.
Now, I haven't heard of Reg D. I'm familiar with Regulation A.
I was about to ask the exact same question. Yeah, what's the difference? What is it exactly?
Yeah, so there's Regulation CF, which is crowdfunding. And then there's Regulation D, which allows you to take on private capital through a private placement memorandum. So you're selling to the private markets. It's all SEC regulated and registered and such, but it allows you to, or allows us or anybody in the Regulation CF, you can raise capital as low as $100. You don't need to have accredited investors that have $1 million net worth. it's also on the Regulation D allows you not to have a lot of the scrutiny. We have a ability to market on television. We can market, which we actually shot a 30-minute television commercial, interview style. Hey, we're raising funds. We're looking for investors. That's just started to kick off on CNBC, Fox News, and such.
Can you send us that? I want to watch that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a fun, exciting time. I'm the guy making the phone calls back to the customers, so it's kind of
That's cool.
Actually, we should toss a link in the video description if you're cool with it.
Yeah.
Better yet, can we publish the 30-minute thing at the end of the show on our YouTube?
I would love that help. Yeah, every opportunity, that'd be great. It's the first time that we have gone this path, and what I've seen with the way we can do it and the team that's around us, it's like a rinse and repeat. The success we have on this will be able, because the production company that I work with and the media team, they brought in the lawyers, the regulation, the auditors. It's costly. It's not as costly as going the other path. But it's kind of a business in the box for people raising money from a startup to an existing business. They've had 6-7 years of this Regulation CF, Regulation D approach. That's why I wrote the check to get into it, buy the media and production and such. So,
is this your first time purchasing TV advertising, or have you done this with other business or to consumers to sell your products? Or
this is the first time we've gone with this approach. We have done some television direct to consumer to sell our product, and that's part of our growth structure. Outside of our digital is going omni-channel.
Was the TV, advertising that you've done in the past successful, or just
some has? It's hard for digital marketers like ourselves, where we know if we light up, $500 or $5,000 or $10,000, we can make a change on the fly. We can split test and optimize from headlines.
It's much harder.
TV, it's taken us 3 months to get the actual spot, what they call trafficked, which means going through their compliance and their legal and getting it to all the different stations, and they physically send a tape still. Yep. So it's very archaic. It's taking a really long time. So, and frankly, it's more costly. If we want to test a direct response to sell our product, it's going to be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to get in the testing just to see what kind of metrics. So it works. And I'm sure PetJoy, with a free trial, and we've got some production already in play, will absolutely, scale. We just haven't done it because if I'm going to spend $25,000, I know what I can do digitally and turn it off.
Why not? Why do that? Exactly. To all the listeners and to you, I will tell you, at one point we did try to run a TV ad thing. I will say that we made a couple mistakes. So if you are considering running TV, first and foremost, we ran a spot that was only on the game show network through DirecTV or Dish, whatever, which essentially, if you buy through Dish, unless you specify, you're getting nationwide spots. So you're not, running ads in Phoenix or in Atlanta or Des Moines. You are getting a nationwide spot. And we tested with $5,000, and each spot, because it was a nationwide spot, was like $1,250 or something. So we got like 4 spots. And I will say the art that Adam created was we thought, dude, we're about to be fucking billionaires. Like this, screw online advertising. We are about to we're gonna spend $5, we're gonna make $95. And full transparency, we spent $5 and we made $350, and we never retested it. So the biggest mistake we made is we should have taken that $5,000 and bought 60 spots on the local Sioux Falls, North Dakota news channel, or Tucson, Arizona, or Des Moines, whatever. We should have bought more spots during the day when it's cheaper in one localized area, because people see the same ad a couple times and then their brain, it like gives it credibility essentially, and they come back. So that was our experience, and
I gotta ask,
great ad, Adam, one of the best.
It was a great ad.
I gotta ask, as a fan of art, Adam, what was it for?
I'm not gonna get into it, but it was
yeah, you really like danced around it.
No. I went out and bought an iMac, and I was like, how do I make a TV commercial without spending any money? So I put Final Cut Pro on it, and then I used a bunch of B-roll and just a bunch.
It was just like multiple stock videos.
It was an affiliate offer, but it was just not. Anyways, Rick, I have a question for you though. So for your infomercial, how are you collecting data to actually reach the people that are watching the infomercial? Like, how do they contact you? How do you contact them?
How do you track it too?
Yeah, have you split
Sure.
tested any of this? Like, what's the game plan for that?
So with the television structure, it goes to an onboarding call center. They take in the consumer's name, it plugs into our CRM, and I do the follow-up email, text, call, etc. As we scale, we would have a larger investment team. From the online approach, where we're actually pushing to our own consumers this week, actually with a, hey, become part of the investor group, and we'll give you discounts, and giving our own customers a chance to buy into us. We've created a specific landing page. It has our 30-second TV spot instead of the 30-minute on it. Goes through a form fill, or a Calendly link to schedule a call now. So that's all just being built, pushing the consumer similar to what we do in the affiliate space. Give me your name, email, contact, and one or two pull downs. So we have a qualifier, and then scheduling them to actually get on the phone, introduce myself, tell them our story, and tell them what we're working on doing. So very similar.
Are you also putting a QR code up on the screen?
Just taking my questions, Doc.
Are you putting a QR code up on the screen to get the digital interaction?
No, we have that pushing through. We haven't done that within the ad. It's simply a phone call now, and then it triggers an email goes to our marketplace, all of the sales data. I'll send the link to Josh so he's got it. But no, we're not doing a QR code. Not at this time.
As someone who watches infomercials in his free time, I would say where the phone number is, next to the phone number, or if there is a phone number or link, URL, whatever, a QR code is great, because like if I'm lazy on the couch, I can just and get it quickly versus typing out a URL or whatever.
No, it's a great idea. I'll have to bring it
I
up.
mean, our TV advertising experience is not so good, but it's something I've noticed, and it's becoming more prominent.
Yeah, on OTT for sure. So Amazon runs recruiting ads on OTT, and they have a QR and a phone number. And so it serves both audiences. And then out of curiosity, and this might be why QR is interesting, what time of day are you running those TV ads? Like what are your spots? Are they like nighttime infomercial?
Yeah, it's very similar to our testing and online, right? There's different channels and different time zones and different costs. So it's all a testing structure. Going back to our roots, which is what we do, we got to from what's our acquisition target cost, where the timing is best. Like we got approved on the Golf Channel of all places to present for the first time they've taken paid programming, and the leads coming from that are very highly qualified consumers that want to invest. Golfers have excess money, they're playing. They're planning their next outing. So that we're going to double down on, whereas some of the more general national stuff has brought in consumers that just aren't that qualified.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned CNBC. I'm assuming with CNBC you get evening hours or something like that, because I'm friendly with some on-air talent there, and I met a producer of a CNBC show, and he told me like their morning show is essentially the most expensive commercials you can buy on television, especially if you target New York City, Chicago, or Washington, D.C. And that was an interesting metric I heard. So you buy like the evening hours, like when your people watch Shark Tank and stuff, right?
Exactly. That's the next push. So we've taken some crazy early morning East Coast time, obviously the investor side, the New York push. And we've done some daytime stuff too. So it's all about testing to try to get to the right market.
If I might throw out a suggestion here, and I talk about this in my book, the magazine industry specifically gives demographic information for their readers. And what might be interesting for you, I know TV does this too, but one thing I noticed when I was going through the magazine data is it's more specific. And so like a great market for you, or a great channel for you right? You'd have to test it, be like Sportsman, the Sportsman channel for like fishing and hunting trips. There's like so many parallels to demographics that I didn't understand until I really started looking into magazine demographics and radio demographics. And like, I think there's probably a lot of gold for you to find in these different demographic groups and then time slots. One thing that clicked in my brain though on the phone call only is like, if I'm in a family home and people are sleeping and it's a later spot, they may not want to pick up the phone and call. And so the QR might be a really interesting way to capture the younger demographic of investor. Like if you want me to call, for instance, like I'm probably not ever calling.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'm a 40-year-old entrepreneur who invests in startups, but you probably can get me to scan a QR code.
Well,
so,
you mentioned like the golf network, and you said the quality of leads you were receiving was highly qualified. So I'm assuming, although I don't have to be a high net worth individual to invest because it's the type of raise you're doing, um, you know, we've done like some charter flights with our clients where we bring them all to a trade show, and at the like FBO where you board these flights, they have what I just call a rack of rich people magazines.
Yeah.
I usually read them and just look at them and talk about how poor I am. But those are something that I would look at. It's like boating magazines.
Sure.
And aviation magazines and golf magazines, and I saw one, there was like a polo magazine, like horses, that kind of stuff. And there's tons of investment stuff in there. It's like I'm reading about horses, and then it's like a law firm. Like, oh wow.
Yeah, we that's one of the you mentioned horses. That's one of the airings that we're targeting as well. So it's
cool.
taking the same approach, like where we're now starting to push online. It's taking that same strategy, demographic. We're pushing on TV, but that's not going to be the only area for us to push. It's starting to create some content and articles about the pet industry and us and our journey, and pushing that out to, the typical, from Facebook to Insta to TikTok, which is where, it's where we were cut from. And that's what we do every day, digital marketing and turning that. So I think there's not only a success for our own company, but once we get through this, it's almost like a business in a box where from the software that we've built, the experience we have, it's almost able to push this into an agency position for others. The software that we've built over the last 7 years that has allowed us to scale, we call it Pipeline. It's basically content management on steroids for lead gen and direct to consumers. It's being able to duplicate the template, the site within a click of a button, and manage everything from the front end media, ad specific, landing page, 20 upsell paths, thank you page, all the way back into reporting and identifying the revenue per click or per touch point of that consumer. So that's allowed us to, instead of using all these third parties that are front end dragging your site down, we've built it all on a database driven side. So I can split test price points, I can split test content, copy, and virtually have a product up within days instead of months, which is what our problem was. We'd spend $300,000-$500,000 and realize that we gotta bury this thing because it's not a winner. And that software allowed us to launch 9 new products in over, with OneTac, we did 9 products in 4 weeks.
Do you operate OneTac and PetJoy as completely different businesses, or is it like one
Correct.
umbrella, or how do you do it?
So we built Brand Ventures as an incubation company, coming back to the conversation earlier, where if I have the right team, the system, and the process in place and technology, we can move into different markets. And then ultimately isolate that brand to go from an exit and or raise, which is what that stage of our business is now. OneTac's almost a 10-year-old brand. We've got, probably did $50 million, $60 million in sales and millions of product units. But it's got life cycles, right? How many guaranteed flashlights can you sell, or batteries, or safety products when the consumer knows they have a lifetime guarantee? So the spike and the down as a digital marketer it's a sustainable business now. It's bringing in revenue and profit, but it's not our direct to consumer expansive growth, which is what we're doing with PetJoy, and looking to take our expertise and our software and apply that for others that are looking to either get into the space or need help with it. We've all been around for a very long time. I figured it might be time to release that technology and that experience and help others, as an agency or service or consultant. So we're excited to see what that brings. That software will be part of the acquisition or the acquisition exit strategy. So keep that in mind too, as you people are building businesses, what additional assets can you bring versus just a product or revenue? That technology, as you guys know very well, having technology behind whatever you do shows a significant potential upside. That software allows us to build, if somebody acquired us and had 5 more brands or, different categories, we can roll that in and launch direct to consumer in days for those companies. So that's exciting for us in this path to big exit.
One thing about that, I love what you're doing. Well, actually 2 things. One, for our book funnel, we did not build the software for that because we wanted to go quickly, and you're not wrong. Like this, we are already switching the back end software, and we're only like 4 weeks into advertising. It is just a pain in the butt. The load times are bad. Like, I don't know how some of these companies are actually surviving and thriving. It's kind of unbelievable to me. You've been our customer before at Ringba, and we're kind of fanatical about what we do, and I don't think that's normal, I guess. And then on another point is, some people make the mistake. You are not making this mistake. Some people make the mistake of building software that they can just go out and license that works really, really, really well, right? And I had this conversation with the COO of a public company not too long ago. And I said, listen, if you're building software internally that you can license from somebody else that works better than your internal software, that's not enterprise value. That's an anchor. And you need to get rid of that internal software and repurpose the developers. And so I think a certain level of thoughtfulness needs to go into the software that you're making, and it needs to actually give you a competitive edge like you're describing now. And then, yes, it really does help with your enterprise value. Having software for software's sake, generally not. But if it gives you this lift that no one else can get elsewhere, that's really where the win is. And so I think that's really cool that you guys did that for like rapid iteration and rapid testing of products and getting it out there. Yeah, I wish we had something better just to sell a book right now. It's like,
well, I'm more than happy to we can follow up and get Brian and myself on and show you what we have, and maybe it's something you guys want to play around and test with.
Yeah, sure.
More than happy to as I said, I'm just starting to put this out there for people that we know and others that are looking to leverage that success and that rapidness. I mean, look, we used everything under the sun, from funnel builders to CMSs to nothing was doing what we wanted. And so we built this modularly, and we built it with an easy API so we can plug in any processor, any fulfillment, any CRM. It was built out of need and allowing us to do what we've done on multiple brands that has, as you develop something for you to be better. That's the best way to build your software versus, hey, like you had mentioned, I'm just looking to build this as a SaaS model. That wasn't what the idea was, but out of the success we've had, theoretically, this could be another iteration of the incubation company that we bring out. And then we utilize it to sell any of our products or brands in the exit. Gives it significantly higher value. So,
yeah, Jason Akatif said something to me like that. We were at a CEO dinner maybe a year ago. And someone else at the table asked him, they're like, Jason, you run calls, like, why do you use Ringba? And his response really resonates with what you just said. And he's like, because these are the only guys building software for this that have actually done the thing that the software is for. And so the fact that you're using the software to grow your own business so that you can optimize what you're doing means that there's this like whole different level of knowledge that went into the
different
creation.
Understanding.
Yeah, you just understand the space a completely different way, and then that shows itself up in the software. So that's super cool. I do have one more question about the raise for you. Have you, and I'm guessing yes, but have you offered like your current customer base the opportunity to invest in the business? And then what, if you did, what happened?
So that's exactly what we're building right now when we're talking about what do we do from an acquisition to our customer or capturing data. So we just built the pages, the database is ready to go, and we're just about to launch that to our consumer base. I mean, they're the most loyal customers. We've got customers that have been on for 3 years. So one of our approaches, let's add the raise, give you a discount, a bigger discount on your product. We know you're loyal customers and take a ride with us. I think is going to be a significant success on the, the smaller, lower end, $1,000, $2,000 investors. But the regulation crowdfunding approach now allows, everyday mom and pop guys that have some capital and they want it working outside of what's going on in the world to get involved with these companies. So it's an exciting approach this way, where we're already an existing company. We're not trying to prove to anybody that we want to go build something. So yes, going to our customers is on the blueprint and should be launching by end of week or first of next.
Do you, Rick, with the current, it's a Reg D, right?
Regulation D, yeah.
Yeah, Regulation D. Do you have a cap on what one individual person can invest and what the total raise is, or how's that work?
No, we've set aside up to a $10 million raise. We don't need to go that much. And with this structure, we set it as at $10,000, the initial raise will allow us to then start utilizing the capital versus a traditional Reg A, or, you've got to raise $1 million or $2 million before you can utilize the cash. So
sure.
The quicker we can get some funds in, the faster we grow, the quicker we get to our exit structure.
Cool. Rick, I was going to ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm just a regular guy with $100, because I noticed you mentioned a long time ago in our chat, like even friends and family can get in like at an entry level of $100. What's like the incentive for someone to invest $100? Is it kind of like what you were saying, like discounted membership or like 3 months of our product, or like how do you convince them that it's worth it?
Yeah, so we're looking at trying to get their return anywhere from 2.5 to 5 times their initial capital in the next 3 years. So first off, you've got a customer that's looking to invest and get their return. As the different tiers go up, we will we offer bonus incentive stock. The more they invest, the more shares I have to allocate outside of the initial valuation. And going to our dog customers, everybody I talk to that's looking to invest, you want a free sample? Let me ship you some products. So they now get to touch, feel, and then get them into discounts and or trying of other products. So that's part of the approach. It's not a formal in the raise or the documents, but that's what we do.
That's going to have an amazing, I know you already have great customer loyalty, but the reality is if
my beak is wet, I'm buying more product.
Yeah, exactly. If I own part of the company, I'm never buying something from somebody else.
Right.
So, like your worst case scenario on having a customer invest is that it almost locks them in further as a customer. So that's a really
like a
cool thing. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
So Rick, there's a few verticals I know you've dabbled with in your time in this industry, from tactical and survivor, hair care, skincare, pet supplements, financial, credit monitoring, to name a few, right? So if I'm a new affiliate and I'm interested in all of those, if you were to recommend which one you think is best for a newbie who's just kind of getting their feet wet and getting started, which direction would you recommend they go in?
That's really a great question, and there's a couple ways you can go with this. It really depends on what the affiliate skill set or passion or background is, right? We internally have always felt that media buying allows us to tell our stories, the problem solution, in a niche that we truly care about. So the more you know about or the more that somebody knows about a niche that resonates with them, that will allow them to create their unique positioning, craft their messaging, get the content as an affiliate. So that would be the first component. Also finding their potential customer base on what platform. If they're really good with TikTok or they're really good at Twitter, looking at what that feed or what they're seeing themselves. For example, if they're seeing a ton of auto insurance quotes or auto insurance ads on Twitter or TikTok, whichever platform, doesn't mean that that's the right, the biggest category doesn't mean that they will have the most success, because it's very cluttered. You've got a ton of people in that space. It's expensive because there's a lot of advertisers. Find something that's ancillary. Find something that's kind of adjacent to that. For example, instead of auto insurance, what about auto lease or auto finance, auto warranty? Try to find something that you can tap into that, skill set or that knowledge base, but start with something that might be not as competitive, is my point. That would be really where I think somebody would, if they're looking to start out, is tap into what their category, what their interest, and what they love to do. That's where I would go.
Rick, appreciate you coming on the Affiliate Marketing Show. Thank you so much for joining us. Definitely want to have you back in the future. For myself, Josh from OfferVault, Daddy Callbucks, Adam Young, hashtag It's a Call Track Life, as well as the industry veteran and legend, Harrison Gevirtz, and our buddy Rick Bennink, founder of Brand Ventures, as well as OneTech.com and PetJoy.com. Let's make that paper. Let's make that dough. This was the Affiliate Marketing Show. We will see you next time.
Introducing PetJoy, an investment opportunity for pet lovers and savvy investors alike. Call now. PetJoy is a pet lovers e-commerce tech platform aiming to enhance the lives of pets through innovative, high-quality products that bring smiles to both pets and their owners. In 2023, the U.S. pet industry expenditures was valued at over $140 billion. Call now to discover how to invest in the pet industry with PetJoy.